What's going on, everyone? So we got a three-team trade with the Boston Celtics, the Brooklyn Nets, and the Atlanta Hawks. And Kristaps Porzingis ended up going to Atlanta. That was kind of the big move, the big name. But another guy that was part of that transaction was Terrence Mann, and he ended up going to the Brooklyn Nets. And my question is, can the Lakers maybe go get a Terrence Mann? Right? He's a guy that I think makes a ton of sense for the Lakers, gives you a legit 3-and-D veteran style guy. He's on the right side of 30. He's 28. So he's on the right side of 30. You look at his contract the next few years, he's making $15.5 million this year, $15.5 million next, and then $16 million. So he's a guy that's under contract for the next 3 years and reasonable. So as the salary cap increases, his contract gets better and better. I mean, he's a guy that, you could start if you needed to, right? Slot him in at the 2, slot him in at the 3, even in a small ball lineup. You could even play him at the 4 if you really needed to, but really best in that, 2-3 spot. He's a guy that's 6'6" in height, but can be that versatile defender that can defend 1 through 3 for you. Like I said, he'll be 29 going into next season. He's 28 right now. October 18th, he'll be 29. But again, he is a vet that can come in, that you can slot in, give you some real 3-and-D depth that the Lakers really need. Ideally, if you could get him and a Clint Capella, a Nick Claxton. There we go. Clint Capella is the guy that, talking about Atlanta and all that stuff, could be a backup. I'd love to have him as a backup, obviously, if you can land Clint Capella. But Nick Claxton was the guy. Can you maybe work something out where you get him and you get a Terrence Mann? That's like $42 million in salary, something like that, $43 million off the top of my head. So that might be a little tough. But if you could do it, again, you kind of solve your 3-and-D depth, right? You get a guy that, literally you could slot in at your 3, and then you get that defensive center, right? Maybe you do something like that with like a Terrence Mann, a Austin Reeves, Luka. Personally, I'd still like to either bring Austin Reeves off the bench as the 6th man or look to trade him, kind of get somebody slotted in to that 2 spot. You could even go Terrence Mann at the 2 at that point. Maybe go get, can you get like a Herb Jones, something like that? Go like Luka, Terrence Mann, Herb Jones, LeBron James, and a Nick Claxton, right? Especially if you're trading Austin Reeves. Just a thought, right? Because again, Lakers need better balance in the starting unit, in their rotation. Lakers have a lot of like one-dimensional guys. A lot of guys that are really good defensively, terrible offensively, or really good offensively, terrible defensively. Terrence Mann would give you a guy that is good at both, right? He's not like this like insane, oh my God, just, this guy is the best two-way guy in the league. He's not like that, but he's a very good guy that knows his role, understands his role, can come in, slot in beautifully. the quality of looks that he would get slotted alongside Luka and LeBron James, he has never gotten in his career, right? Like he would have so much up. Again, Dorian Finney-Smith even said that he was like, dude, we had to have a team meeting with all of the shooters because we all were like, we are wide open, and nobody understands it. Like, we have time to fix a sandwich, check our emails, rizz up the local baddie, right? Like, we have plenty of time to do whatever it is that we need to do and then take the shot, right? Rather than force. Terrence Mann would be getting looks, galore. And, you kind of look at like what he's done for his career. We'll kind of break down the last few seasons, but for his career, he's a 37% 3-point shooter, right? He has had seasons where he's been in the 40% range. He's had seasons where he's been in, that 39% range. Even last year, he was, they're almost 39%, 38.6% on 3 attempts. That'd be great, right? I'm not saying he has to be lights out, 45% from 3-point range, but if he could come in and be a 37, 38% 3-point shooter, play some real defense, get after it, hustle, do the dirty work, right? That's the thing. The Lakers need those dirty work guys. They need those grinders. They need those guys that can do the hustle plays and are, chasing down loose balls. They need the guys that you can slot in, right? They need the Alex Caruso type, the Lou Dort type, the Carson Wallace type, right? You need those kind of guys that can come in and just be those scrappers for you. Lakers desperately need some scrappers, definitely need some toughness, definitely need some guys that, again, know, understand, and play their role. Terrence Mann is one of those guys that knows, understands, and plays his role. Does it beautifully, right? He was very good for the Clippers. It was a little surprising that the Clippers ended up trading him. But what did he do last year? Well, again, was with the Clippers and Atlanta in 67 games, averaged 21.1 minutes per game, 6.2 attempts, shot 50% from the floor, 37% from three-point range on 2.4 attempts, shot 58% from two-point range on 3.7 attempts, EFG of 56.9%, so basically 57%. Free throw shooting, shot 69%. He is a career 78% guy, so he had a bad free throw shooting season in general. It was really Atlanta. He shot terribly in Atlanta from the free throw line. We'll touch on that here in a moment. But rebounding, 3 rebounds, 2 assists, a steal, half a block, and 7.7 points was his average with over the 2 teams last year. You look at Atlanta, right? He averaged 9.8 points, 3 rebounds, 2 assists, half a steal, and half a block. Rounding that up, it was actually a little less. But the free throw shooting, he was 67% from the free throw line on 1.2 attempts. So that really kind of knocked his average down. If you look at with the Clippers, he was actually 72%, which is still down from his average, but much better than, 67%, 5% better. And then had an EFG of 61.9%, shot 64.6% from 2-point range with Atlanta. And then from 3-point range, shot 38.6%. He actually shot better from 3 with Atlanta than he did with the Clippers, which you also got to keep in mind, Atlanta has Trae Young, right? So that's something that to kind of keep in mind that, the shot creator, right? Being alongside a guy that can create for you and you just have to hit your spots and knock down the 3 in some stride, right? So that could be something very good. You look at his per 36. Again, per 36 doesn't tell you everything. Kind of gives you an idea of what he could do if he was put in that full-time starter role. 15.5 points, 5 rebounds, 3.3 assists, 1 steal, half a block is what he could give you, which would be very reasonable. And for those that are like, well, he'd probably never average that. I mean, he's had seasons. We had a season with the Clippers where he averaged 5 rebounds, 3 assists, a steal, half a block, and 11 points. So the only thing that's missing there is the points. He was 4 points short from what his per 36 is. But again, if you can get a guy in Terrence Mann, I think you go get a guy in Terrence Mann. I think he's a guy that genuinely could add some depth, add some shooting, add some two-way ability to this team. A guy that can slot in, play multiple positions, do multiple things out there for you out there on the basketball court. A guy that I would love to have. I mean, he's a guy that every team would love to have in the rotation. Just a dirty work guy that to knock down the 3 ball with some consistency, rebound the basketball, and just do multiple things out there, right? So if the Lakers can go get him, obviously it depends on the cost, has to be reasonable, has to be within reason. If you can do that and it's a good price, I would look to go get him. But let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me a lot. It's me enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. Not subscribe channel, hit that subscribe button, turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one.